welcome to another Beer for Breakfast ABV. I am Danielle from The Moke Show on 91X. As always, I've got Paul Segura with me from Karl Strauss. Cheers. And today he brought along Matt Johnson, the brewmaster from Karl Strauss. And this is super, super exciting because Karl Strauss is turning 30.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
That's really exciting.
Yes,
you guys made it. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Made it.
So,
Matt and I both started brewing there when we were 5 years old.
Oh, what? You know what? I would have guessed like 3. Because I would never guess you were over 33.
She didn't have an opening when we were 3. Yeah. Otherwise, we would have.
That's the problem. Thanks a lot. No, but so before we did a little pre-gaming with a collaboration that you guys did with Drake's. I already drank all of mine.
Oh, okay.
But it is a hazy IPA, level 30 complete hazy IPA. How'd you guys get with Drake's? Where'd this come from?
Well, Drake's is also turning 30 this year. They're part of that class of '89, along with Karl Strauss and Marin Brewing Company and Sudwerk in Davis. So there's 4 of us in California that started in '89. So, and we're good friends with them. And John Galuli and I are pretty good, the brewmaster there, we're pretty good friends. So we invited him down to San Diego to brew with us. And
yep, and the rest is in the can.
Yeah.
So we kind of made a new school hazy using old school hops. We used a lot of like Cascade,
Amarillo,
Columbus.
Okay, well, okay. So as you know, old school brewers, how do you feel about the hazies? How do you feel about the haze craze?
It's grown on me.
Yeah.
Took a while. Mm-hmm. I love the flavors in the hazy. I don't think I need it to be hazy for it to taste good, but I do respect the style. It's a good style. It's a good IPA. Nice juicy flavors. I say it's like juice, but those are the same flavors that you get in a really good, San Diego style IPA. It's just clear.
Right, instead of juicy IPA, it's a piney IPA. I'm cool with like the flavors and aromas I get from hazies. I just don't want them to be yeast bombs.
Understandable.
I'm okay with a protein haze and a polyphenolic
Yeah, if they're too
haze.
thick, it's like I don't get the milkshake ones. I don't.
Right. Yeah.
I don't.
Well, and I think that hazies have kind of like opened the IPA category up to a whole group of people who thought that they didn't like IPAs.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Well, as long as we're talking about hazies, let's talk about boat shoes.
Boat shoes.
So I thought boat shoes was like just like a one-off little fun thing that you guys did, and then I saw you start canning it and got really excited.
A lot of people really enjoyed this beer. Really enjoyed this beer.
So much that it's year-round.
Yeah,
now.
so much that we're doing it year-round. It is a hazy,
but it's not a yeast bomb.
But it's not a yeast bomb, and it's got some different hops than the Drake's collabs. Like Mosaic, Galaxy, Pecco, which is a newer one.
Oh, I haven't heard that one.
Stuff like that really gives it its unique character. We use a little different yeast too, rather than the I think it was the London 3 we used for Drake's. We used the East Coast Heady Topper.
Yeah.
For this one.
Yeah, it doesn't ferment out very dry. It leaves a little bit of residual sugar in there when mixed with sort of these citrusy, like, tangerine and orange-like hops. It kind of gets juicy. Right?
It's juicy IPAs.
It's juicy haze.
Plus that
Hazy, juicy
yeast
IPAs.
adds a little bit of that sort of ester,
But
fruity ester.
You see it's hazy, but like Paul said, it's not a yeast bomb. You're not chewing on a lot of yeast,
there's no suspension.
Right?
There's nothing like in there at all.
You're tasting more of the hops that we have in this beer. You're tasting more of the flavor that we created, along with some of the haze that people really like to see now in a hazy. But you're getting all the hop and the juice and the flavor that we've created as brewers coming through, as opposed to just
don't you feel like
bitter.
That yeast in the beer kind of gives it that chalky finish?
It gives it chalky. It gives it a really bitter, almost like like you're chewing on hops type of bitterness, rather than a clean bitterness that you get when you do it.
When I was young and got in trouble in school and I'd have to clean the chalkboards, there'd always be like a bunch of chalk in the air, and it was like that kind of tastes like that when there's yeast in there. But this just has a nice sort of it gives it like a little body too.
It's nice. It's really good. Like I said, it's grown on me.
Yeah.
At first, I didn't understand it. Didn't think. We did everything we could as brewers to make sure our beer was clear, and we didn't understand now. Like turned on a dime. Everybody's like, "No, I want it hazy," and I'm like, "But I spent all the time to make you happy, having it clear and having a flavor."
And what I can really commend this beer on is it pairs so well with so much food that is on the menu at Karl Strauss. And I really got to give it up to the servers and bartenders at Karl Strauss, because no matter what you eat, they'll bring you over a sample of something that pairs well with it and explains why it pairs well with it. And it's just that little extra that you get at Karl Strauss that you don't get at a lot of brew pubs. That thing makes it special. And plus, it's coming straight from the source.
Yeah. No, we train our servers really well on beer flavors. They all go through a sort of
training.
The training for the Cicerone official beer server
Oh,
training.
wow.
It's not the full Cicerone Chicharonium tasting all this.
It's like level 4.
It's enough to be able to explain to our guests what they're tasting, how it pairs well with food. And offer recommendations if they ask, hey, I want a hazy, or I want a juicy, or I want something a little bit less bitter. What do you recommend? They'd be able to run 4 or 5 different beers by them and say, this is what we have, this is what I think you'll like.
Yeah, well, and I think one of the great things about Karl Strauss also is you guys don't have super intimidating beers. For just the general beer drinker, or if you want to go something really big, there's that option as well with your guys' small batches.
The next beer that we taste is going to be
big
this beer.
Well, let's start talking about that. The reason you guys are here is it is the 30th anniversary of Karl Strauss. And so my favorite event of the entire year is about to come up, Changing of the Barrels. So this one, the 30th anniversary, it is a Russian Imperial Stout aged in rye whiskey barrels. Tell me about this.
This is a big one. This is we
wanted to go big for our 30th.
Because 30 years is actually a very big number to hit for a brewery. No matter where you are, San Diego, throughout the country, 30 years is such a major achievement. I think it's a testament to our quality that we've been around so long. So we wanted something that was going to be big and rich and flavorful. It is 14.8% alcohol.
Something that's going to stick to your ribs.
So it's a big one. But we wanted a Russian Imperial Stout, which is a perfect style for that gravity of beer, that ABV that's coming out. We love bourbon barrels and the flavor they give. If you taste this, there's going to be a lot of vanilla. There's no vanilla bean. There's nothing in it. It's all from the wood that we've used. We actually used wild turkey rye bourbon barrels. You can get some of that spiciness out of this beer from the rye bourbon that was in there. And then you taste the roast. You taste the dark espresso that we... Espresso.
You're cut off.
I'm cut off already.
We haven't even started yet.
The dark espresso flavors that you get from a Russian Imperial Stout with the backbone of a little bit of vanilla, some wood, some oak to it, and a real good spicy rye bourbon flavor. I mean, we're real proud of this.
Cheers to
Cheers to 30 years.
30 years.
30 years.
Yeah. God, you can just smell that bourbon.
You get the vanillins.
I get a lot of vanilla, and when I first pulled this out of the barrel and we started tasting it, I'm like, there's vanilla in here, and we do a vanilla bean barrel-aged Wreck Alley for one of our other beers, and you can really pull vanilla. This tastes like there was vanilla bean in it. There's no vanilla bean.
So there was American oak, right, as opposed to French oak. You get a lot of the graham cracker flavor too.
No, absolutely. This beer has so much flavor going on. I mean, it's different layers of different types of flavors, from coffee to, like you said, graham cracker to vanilla to slight roast to a little bit of bitterness to counteract some of that sweetness to the very strong aroma of rye whiskey. I get that out of that barrel.
All of it.
And you get a little bit of a warm thing going down.
But it's not hot. It's not going to
Right.
You're not breathing fire every time you take a drink.
I kind of want to sit next to a fire right now and just sip on this. Maybe in Big Bear, there's a fire. It's snowing outside, and I'm sipping on my 30th anniversary.
This will absolutely be great for that.
I'd like to have this with some vanilla bean ice cream or something. I think.
So is
this in a parfait glass?
Would this be a beer that you could lay down and age some more?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Yep. Totally. In fact, we are encouraging people to do that.
The bottles are quite nice too.
They are. So basically, buy yourself 2 bottles. One for you to enjoy right now, and one to lay down and enjoy later. I can't wait for that
Buy
Christmas.
a whole case.
I can't wait for that Christmas at the Segura House. That's going to be a good Christmas. Yep. All right. Well, rad, guys. So Changing of the Barrels is coming up.
February 2nd.
February 2nd.
Yep.
Which one is
At
it?
the Tasting Room in PB.
Okay.
Yep.
What do we have to expect from changing of the barrels?
Well, you're gonna have this beer on. We're actually gonna have a sample of the 31st anniversary.
What?
Yeah. Every changing of
getting
the
ready for
barrels,
next
that's kind of
year.
what we do.
Yeah.
People get to taste the beer that just came out of barrels that's been aging for a while, and they get to taste the beer before it goes into barrels that they can drink next
Gosh,
year.
I don't know why I don't remember tasting this last year. Well, I do know why I don't remember, because I don't remember a whole lot of what happened to changing of the barrels. But,
Yeah. So the 31st, just a little preview for everybody, is a wee heavy. So it's another high gravity that we are actually going to store in bourbon barrels from Cutwater. We're going to keep it all San Diego.
yeah.
We're all familiar with Cutwater, right?
Yeah, shout out to Jen.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it's going to be a whole, it's all San Diego ingredients and barrels, so it's a pure San Diego beer.
That's amazing.
And for everybody that's kind of followed Karl Strauss for 20 plus years at least, we brought back 4 of the beers that were first brewed in 1989.
That's correct.
So
which
Bach of
ones?
America, Downtown After Dark, Ed's Hoppy Birthday Beer, and Strauss Stout.
Strauss Stout.
How fun.
So look
From
for
the original
those.
recipe book, because I still have the original recipe book from that first year and a half.
Wow.
We sat down and went through the recipes and picked the ones that we wanted to do, and all through the month of February,
Yeah.
we're going to have, each week's going to have a release of one of the original beers that we did.
That's so
way back when.
cool.
Back when I
Anybody
was
who's
5
all
years old.
nostalgic for those beers that they haven't had for at least 17 or 18 years.
Well, this is really, really wonderful. 30 years of Karl Strauss. That is so freaking awesome. I'm sure there's going to be awesome stuff going on throughout the year. Best places to keep up with Karl Strauss, all the social medias.
KarlStrauss.com. Yeah, Karl Strauss is on, I don't know, everything, right?
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, karlstrauss.com.
Yeah.
Well, so just one last little question. You both knew Karl, right? Karl Strauss himself.
I did not.
You did not, but you knew Karl,
He was
right?
my boss for about 7 years, yeah.
Okay, so what do you think Karl would be thinking now? 30 years.
I think-
and still going.
Well, I did hear him say once, I think when we, like our 20th anniversary, I think he said, I never thought that Chris and Matt would have the fortitude to roll out all of these brew pubs and, you know, increase our distribution across the state of California and all of that. We started out as a single unit brew pub in February 2nd, 1989, and I think in his head it was just going to stay one little brew pub in downtown San Diego. And
Yeah, and this was, you know, our brew pub was the first one to open since Prohibition in San Diego. So we were the only game in town when we
That's
opened.
so cool.
the
Right?
city of San Diego.
To have a small brew pub open and be the only one around 1989 and still be here 30 years later.
That's so, in the same building and everything. That's,
we still have
that
the
is
same
so
equipment, too.
cool.
That's now our R&D brewery.
You know, that says a lot to the brewers of Karl Strauss, everybody who works at Karl Strauss, and especially Chris and Matt. You know, that's
Yep.
super cool, and it's great that they still have such a hand in the business. And
Oh, yeah.
you know, so cheers to them. Cheers to everybody at Karl Strauss.
Cheers to them.
Thank you for everything that you've done for the craft beer community. And thank you for watching Beer for Breakfast ABV. Every Friday morning, Paul comes in on the Moog Show at 9:20 and tells us what we should be drinking this weekend. And you know, it falls in line with changing of the barrels. So I think that we're going to have a little bit of
Absolutely.
this. This is the perfect Beer for Breakfast beer.
It tastes like a breakfast beer.
I don't think myself, Moog, and Jared will be doing anything after that. So thank you so much. And if you've missed any of the Beer for Breakfast ABVs, you can find those at 91x.com. Thank you, and cheers to independent craft beer.
Cheers to independent craft beer.
Yes.
91X.